Good morning, everybody. This is Connor from Futures Analytica bringing you guys another live futures trading session. Today, we're going to be trading ES with the PolarityATI ML module. We're going to be starting the day out here inside of regression mode. Right when we armed there, we actually got immediately filled into a short position there. So you can see we end up winning that one pretty quickly. We're going to be rearming it. The reason why we're in regression is because of this high amount of chop in between these automatically derived zones, which were marked by the Analytica Chart 4+. You can see we just got filled again into a long position there. So now we're outside of this zone. We've closed above that bar, closed out this entire zone there. We're going to be switching it into trend mode. We're going to see how this goes. Hopefully we can have correlated delta and price and continue an uptrend here. Kind of a swift start to the day there. Just got filled into a long trade. We reached our automatic stop chase there. Hopefully we can end up winning. We almost got stopped out right there. Just won that trade. We're up to $1,224 on the day now. We're going to be switching it back into regression due to this large amount of chop. Right when we did that, we actually got filled into a long position there. It reached our automatic stop chase. Also, guys, let me pull up my executions feed here. I don't know why it keeps disappearing at the beginning of streams and stuff like that. You can see my executions now. You can see over here. Just going to increase that timestamp so you guys can see that there. But as you can see, we have our account name, our timestamp of entries, and our price. Having some nice swift movement today. Hopefully we can capitalize on that. We're already up to $1,600 on the day. Right here, we're expecting price to bounce off of this level, but if it breaks through, we're going to switch it into trend mode to try and capitalize on a downtrend here. Okay, we got the formation of a new zone there right when we passed through it, and then we just got filled into a long position. So you can see we're expecting that bounce, and now our order is confirming the that we were correct in our assumption that would happen. And there we go. We ended up winning that trade. We're up to $2,000 on the day now. You can see these derived zones here on the Analytica Chart 4+ that are automatically marked by imbalances and absorption are super helpful when trying to determine what the market's going to do, so you can guide Polarity to do its best. You can see there, we didn't switch to trend until we had gotten a pass-through, which it didn't, so we stayed in regression, and now we're getting some chop around this level here. We just got filled into a long position there, so let's see if we can end up winning this. It reaches our automatic stop chase. We're back down to our entry. We end up getting stopped out of that trade. That's going to be our first loss of the day, bringing us back down to $1,700.49, or sorry, $749.44. Also, guys, if you didn't see the current blog post about Sierra Link and the upgrades we've made to our infrastructure at Sierra Link, we've cut latency almost by 60% for the Sierra plan. So make sure to check that out on the blog post on our website, and you can see exactly what changes we've made and why we made them. We just got filled into a long trade there. We ended up winning that one pretty quickly. Back up to $2,100.57. Just got filled long again. Reaches our automatic stop chase. We did get the formation of this new line there. If we close above this bar here with strong delta, we'll switch it into trend mode. This might be preemptive, but it looks like we actually did not close above that line. we actually dipped right back down and we got filled into a short trade. So we're going to keep it in regression and try and trade between this channel. We're hoping we get some bouncing action in between this because this is exactly the perfect length for some regressive action here. You can see that this zone actually formed right around the high of the previous area. So there was some resistance here, keeping that above that level, or keeping it below this level. Just got filled into a short position here. Got filled into a consecutive short position there. Not sure if we're going to win this one. Can we end up winning this trade? If we blow through the zone, we're switching it into trend mode. But I'm thinking here we're actually probably going to bounce off of this level here. We just don't have the delta. Yeah, you can see here we just got filled long. So again, that's going to be another consecutive bounce off this zone here. I mean, you can really manually trade these levels if you want to, and it does very, very well. You don't even need polarity for that. Yeah, there we go. Almost prophetically, we ended up winning that trade. These levels have been very, very reliable. You can see average distances marked. 1 bounce, 2 bounces, 3 bounces. Okay, we just got filled into a short position here. Now that we're forming up some noise around this zone, this is going to be the first time we've actually had noise at this zone since it was actually started. And we got the formation of that new red zone there. And then now we got filled into a short position. So you can see here that these two have equalized each other, and we don't really have to consider this a zone. And you can see that zone was automatically completed. Now we have actually resistance here. So we think it's very unlikely for it to actually re-enter this area up here. But if we get stopped out here, that may not be the case. Yeah, unfortunately, we stopped out there. We're back down to 43.15. It's going to be our second loss of the day now. Just going to move my chart trader around for you guys to show you that this is in fact not an overlay. Hey Ollie, this is not the new release of Polarity. This is the release that is currently available to all customers. I'm not using a special build in this stream. The special build, or the upcoming new release, is going to be released on June 10th. And that will include dual models and much more stability changes, as well as fixing the imbalance ratio, exiting the quote-unquote window that you've set. You can see here that we did re-enter the zone here, however, not very quickly. We've continued to have chop around this level, so we didn't switch it into trend mode. But we're going to continue to trade this zone. I really still am confident that we're not going to be above this level at the end of our trading session today. But that's just a spitball guess. We just got filled into a long trade here. So in order for us to win this, it has to pass above that area. We ended up winning that trade, and we just got filled into a consecutive short trade here. You can see we're getting so much chop. Today has been strangely great on regression for ES. Mostly in ES, you're going to be sitting inside of trend mode. Unfortunately, that's another stop out for us. We got filled into another loss there. It's going to be our third loss of the day, but we follow that up with a win. We're up to $4,777 now. Now we've re-entered this zone here, and we closed out those two resistance levels that were formed automatically. Of course, these aren't perfect. You can see there, my analysis is a little bit off there. Just got filled into a long trade here. It's going to be another loss for us, bringing us down to 4,485 on the day. Just got filled into a short position here. We end up winning that one, back up to 4,900. This is post commissions, by the way, so this is our total P&L after commissions. You can see here we're getting some very interesting movement around the zone here. These zones aren't holding very long, but they're sticking around the same level for a while. Keep bouncing off this 5302 zone here. Yeah, you can see there we ended up winning that trade. Now we're up to 5302. That's funny. I just called out 5302 as a level, and that is now our P&L. That's pretty hilarious. Just got filled into a short position here. End up winning that one up to 5,700. We're gonna go for 70. We're gonna go for 7,000 today, I think. Holding around here at this 5305 zone. We don't have any derived zones to trade off of, but we just got filled into a short position here. We're going to have to rely mostly on delta and price. Strangely, we have somewhat correlated delta and price, but at 727, we did have that positive delta spike with that negative price movement. Stuff like that on ES is actually going to be enough to make sure or to confirm a regression mode encounter. ES is much less sensitive to chop in terms of its display of delta and price than NQ, almost to a point where it can actually mess you up. You really have to be vigilant about the numbers that you're seeing on delta and look for divergences, because on NQ they can happen a lot and you kind of have to look for more than one. You can often look for a grouping of three, but with ES, you really got to look for just one or two. You can see we ended up losing that trade, unfortunately. We're back down to $5,418. Just got filled into a short position there. Reaches our automatic stop chase. And we end up taking that win up to $5,800. Slow burn all the way up to 7,000 today, hopefully. Yeah, we're sticking around this level here. Not a ton of volatility, but it's enough volatility to trade. Hey, Ollie, I'm using the Hyperscalp ES ATM strategy that is in the template that you should be using to set up your strategy. It's going to set you up with the same settings that I have. You can see here it has a stop loss of 5, a profit of 5, and a stop strategy, which has a profit trigger of 3 with a offset of -3. Just got filled into a long position here, which is a classic regression trade, pushing us back into the range, at least if we end up winning this. Wow, unfortunately, we don't end up winning that. Back down to 5,500. This is a trend mode switch here at this point, just because we've exited this zone with pretty clear direction. If we start to move back into that zone there, we probably will switch back into regression, but we just got filled into a short position. So if we win this trade, I'm glad we switched. There we go. Up to 6,000 on the day now. Just got filled into a short position there. And we ended up winning that one as well, up to 6,351. Shalazaba said, good day. Today I managed to pass a funding test with 5 trades in NQ, but I can't get it to work well with ES. Can you help me? Yeah, absolutely. So with ES, we're continuously making improvements to the pre-packed or to the training model in general. So the issue with ES is that the performance is not necessarily reliable across both trend and regression. Of course, this is a issue with NQ as well, but less so than on ES. For some reason, ES is a stark difference between the performance of ES and NQ. So that update on the 10th is really going to make ES a lot better. But again, we do have that update on the 10th, and we're trading ES today. So it shows that it is possible with the current software release for ES to be consistent. We actually ended up getting filled into a long position here after we broke through this zone. And we ended up winning that trade. That's going to put us right over our goal today of $7,000 on the day. We've expanded our take profit to 7,000. We've done that for a multitude of reasons, but mostly it's because we've been starting the day earlier. So starting the day earlier allows us to maintain volatility throughout the entire trading session that we're doing. When I start at 8 o'clock, which is when I usually start, volatility has started to die down already, and by 9 it can be very, very dead, because 9 is about lunchtime, and or lunchtime over in the Eastern time zone, and that can provide some issues. So here we're trading at 7:33 Pacific Standard Time. That's going to be ending our session today. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and stay posted for those updates. Appreciate you guys, and keep the questions